Good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Wright, and I'm the Head of Commercial Partnerships for the Australian British Chamber of Commerce. And welcome to our final virtual Meet the Member event of 2022. It's wonderful to have you all joining us. We've got a fantastic one to finish us off for the year. We have 10 wonderful speakers who are each going to give us a 3-minute overview or pitch of their companies, their organizations, what service they provide, and more importantly, who their target market is. And as I always say during these times, we have a fantastic group of attendees on this call with us today. We're also recording, so obviously people are going to be able to access this at a later stage as well. And what I always say is, with our 10 speakers, even if one of our speakers and their company is not something that you or your company can use, what I always ask is just listen to them, think, obviously hear what they have to do, hear what the service they offer, and also then think about opening up your networks to them as well. I think one thing that we pride ourselves here on at the Australian British Chamber of Commerce is all of our members seeking to support each other. These events have always been historically a fantastic way of developing new partnerships, new relationships, a lot of new business that have been formed through this as well. And we look forward to much more of that through today's session as well. So we'll get started now. We'll start with our first speaker. We'll go through all of our 10 speakers. And then after that time, I'll then be opening it up to the floor for Q&A. So please listen, as I say, listen to all of our speakers, and then would love some great Q&A after that. And then at the end of the session, I'll then be sending out all of our speakers' contact details to all of our attendees so that you can also connect privately. So to commence, no pressure on our first speaker to really kick it off with a kickstart. From Crimson Global Academy, we have Peter Kim. Peter is the admissions director at Crimson Global Academy. And Peter, your 3 minutes start now.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Paul. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Peter. I'm a Kiwi currently based in Sydney, Australia. While Crimson Education as a business is New Zealand's first ever edutech unicorn in the history of our country. Very proud of it. We have two parts of our business. One is helping students, especially from Australia and New Zealand, apply to some of the world's top schools like Harvard, Stanford, MIT, Oxford, and Cambridge. More excitingly though, 3 years ago, we developed and launched a global online high school. We now have over 1,000 students from 30 countries. I'm not sure where your political inclinations lie, but we have Kevin Rudd and the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, John Key, on our board, the former head of school from Stanford Online High School, which is the best online high school in the world, where Elon Musk's son attends. We feel that this is quite an interesting model. Our school is not for everyone, but for the ones it's for, our families really love us. So students who are a bit bored at school, maybe thinking overseas for university, maybe a budding athlete or the next Mozart who travels a lot for tournaments, families who are relocating to and from Australia, just families who don't just want the normal kind of standard education, which is more for the average type of student, but progressive parents who are looking for the best, preparing, our children to be global citizens. We're also very passionate about not just academics, but coaching, whether that's entrepreneurship, public speaking, because all of these skills are just as important, if not more important, than being good at your math, English, or science. So we do accept students from ages 8 to 17. We can even help you apply for an executive MBA if you're keen to learn a bit more. I think I don't have too much time, so I'll plug in our Crimson Global Academy website in the chat. Every time we speak to a family, we inspire the kids, get them really excited about their education, ask them the real questions that maybe aren't asked at the dinner table or in meetings with your school. So I think, wow, I've been really concise, I feel, or I've been rapping, but thank you for hearing my pitch. Feel free, we also offer staff benefits programs. So for example, if there are large organizations with parents in our target market, we can offer bulk discount programs. For example, we partner with Mensa, which is a high IQ organization in Australia. We give everyone their 10% discount. But if you know any progressively minded parents, would love to have a chat. Thank you.
Fantastic, Peter. Thank you very much, and right on time there as well. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Peter. And we're proud to have Crimson Global Academy as one of our newest members of the chamber, and we're actually going to be doing a very exciting webinar in the new year, early in the new year with Crimson Global, to obviously hear even more about what you guys do, because, you know, when you're talking about the likes of, you know, Elon Musk kids and all these sort of things, it's absolutely phenomenal, really exciting, really interesting. So thank you so much, Peter. Our next speaker is Mr. Alan Sherry. Alan is the creative director from Sherry Design. Now, Alan has assured me that he has not been accosted, and he's not currently been held hostage in a dungeon somewhere. When you see the backdrop, you'll see why. But Alan, if you are, just nod, just go like that. There we go. Okay, Alan, your 3 minutes, sir. Start now.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah, I'm not part of the prison outreach program. Hi, everyone. I am Alan Sherry from the unimaginatively titled Sherry. We're a branding and creative communications company that started life in London and is now been based in Sydney for the past few years. Short story of Sherry is we specialize in developing brand strategies and creative communications work that helps our clients truly understand what it is that their clients really value about them. We then develop ingenious ways to tell other people about that to ensure it spreads the word and it sticks in the memory. Basically, our work covers branding and strategy, value proposition, naming, logo creation, look and feel development, and messaging. Campaign creation for social channels, corporate comms, reporting, B2B presentations, tender responses, and digital design, of course, websites, microsites, and EDMs. The longer story is about adding value, something my industry is not that renowned for, to be brutally honest. But for us, that involves asking better questions, looking a bit deeper, pushing a bit further, and not thinking you can solve every problem by throwing design at it. Yes, that's not the kind of work your average creative wants to do. So yes, my recruitment is a bit of a nightmare. The bigger picture is we help B2B organizations who are looking for love. The work is aimed at getting them closer to the most important people in their lives, their audience. We help them answer one really important question that every potential client comes armed with. We all do it, and it's what's in it for me. The vast majority of businesses, if you can answer that one question swiftly and succinctly, it's a vital step on the road that leads to people falling in love with your brand. We're not industry specific, and like most English people, I don't think that size is important either. So we work with startups, scale-ups, mid-sizes, and blue chips, the full range. We've always done that. We always will. It's more fun working across the different sectors. You can use one thinking from one industry to lend fresh perspective in another. But probably the most important thing I've found over the years is that young creatives full stop, work better when they're being challenged to do something different and something original. So for each of our clients, we're kind of something different. We mean something different to them. Startups, new ventures use us to get their investment ideas out there quickly. Mid-sizes who've lost their way use us to re-energize, and large internationals use us to protect and grow their brands. Above all else, we like working with people who are serious about wanting to change something, whether that's a marketing and comms director who's reviewing a creative panel, business owner who knows their brand is off, or a startup currently taking an hour to tell everyone how wonderful they are when they only have a minute. We can help all of them to get where they want to be. Thank you so much for listening.
With literally a second left to spare. Military timing there, Alan. That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Alan. Sherry Design. Again, for all of our attendees, start thinking of some great questions, particularly for Alan as well, that you'd like to ask him towards the end. So thank you so much. Our next speaker is from Patron, really exciting company. Our speaker is Jacco Veldsman. He's the co-founder of Patron. And Jacco, your 3 minutes, sir. Start now.
Hi, good day, everybody. It's fantastic to be here. Thank you very much. Having spent a number of years in what I would call like the Commonwealth countries, which is Australia, UK, and South Africa, I've got a good grip of what it means to import and export and all the pressures and the pain points of having to move money around the world. Our business originally started wanting to automate a very single pain point, and that is accounts payable automation. What happened is that we got clients early on that actually came to us and said, if you can only finish this particular automation for card spend, expense management, and for foreign exchange payments. What then happened is we created a company out of feedback from our clients, which is a full end-to-end spend management platform. We can issue cards in any country. We have global companies that are actually using us right now to issue their staff cards in multiple jurisdictions, and to do employee reimbursements in any currency. We can do same-day payments in the UK and same-day payments in any other major country. Why would you use us instead of anybody else out there? Well, it's really kind of the full end-to-end process. We do the data capture, the data validation, everything that you would expect around a bill payment, checking for that kind of invoice tampering, improving the security around how you want to make the payments around the world. In particular, where we're finding success and where people are very happy with the product is when it's an importer or an exporter, or somebody that needs to pay vendors around the world or has staff around the world that they want to keep and control expenses. In particular for us, where we want to really win is make sure that we make that system a lot more secure. It's not just that you have multiple apps that you now need to get your head around. It's one place where you have your ERP or your accounting system, your bank system, and then Paytron. We can do everything else that those two can't do. We don't want to replace them, but we really want to make it super simple for you to have multiple entities or help importers and exporters that want to start a business in Australia, start a business in the UK, or move money between these jurisdictions. One thing that we found is what's really a big problem for people at the moment is having to manage all this data and doing approval workflows on top of that. That is one area what I mean by AP workflows. We excel in that particular area and we actually do very well. Would love to help you and your clients. Would love to hear if there's anybody in your contacts list that you want us to kind of be in touch with. Please reach out to me. I'll put my link into the chat profile, and it's great to be here. Reach out to me for anybody else or anything else that you kind of need advice on in the startup world. I'd love to help.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jaco. That's wonderful. And you guys are just, I haven't been able to hit this glass once yet because everybody's doing the timing so well. No, that's fantastic.
I lost my timer halfway through. I had to guess. There we go. It's just gone off.
Just went off now. I think you had like 15 seconds to spare. No, you did wonderfully well. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jaco. And again, yeah, in the chat box as well, please feel free to chat directly with some of our speakers inside there as well. So absolutely. Our next speaker is Adam Clough. Adam is the head of commercial partnerships for Australia and New Zealand at Sport Heroes. Adam, your 3 minutes start now.
Thanks, Paul, and good afternoon, everyone. I work for Sport Heroes, but I'm also...
Oh, Adam, you sound like you're underwater.
Is that better?
There we go.
Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, sorry. So I work for Sport Heroes. We are a French-based company, and we started in Australia 5 years ago now. And we call ourselves the expert in community engagement. So we've delivered countless virtual solutions now, whether it's the Paris 2024 Olympic app, the Running Heroes platform in Australia with 100,000 users, or PwC Sport Challenge, or a range of other platforms, all focusing on gamifying physical activity. And the reason we joined the Chambers about a year ago, almost coming on a year ago now, is because we've chosen to launch our United Heroes product in Australia, and it has taken off since joining the Chamber. And United Heroes focuses on three main things. I think the number one thing we focus on is that team building and team culture. And number two is physical well-being. So everyone knows the benefits of being physically well and the effects that can have on mental health, on retention of staff and absenteeism, and all the benefits that come with it. And our third objective is to enhance your CSR and charitable standpoints and make employees feel like they belong within the company and can resonate with your values. So right now, United Heroes has hundreds of different clients across the globe. We are a global platform. So if you do have employees in different states, in different countries, and you want to bring them in and make them feel part of your company, that's what we specialize in. We have millions and millions of users using our platforms now. And I guess one of the really exciting initiatives we have coming up is our summer series. So for the first time, we're hosting a 1-month physical activity challenge throughout February. It's also a really good trial. So if you do want to jump onto United Heroes and just experience what it's about and do a fun, exciting challenge, with your colleagues at a key time when everyone's realized that I haven't touched my New Year's resolution and we're 1 month down, school holidays are over, I have no more excuse, and we're back to workplaces and people might be starting new jobs and you want them to feel a part of the team. That's what Summer Series is designed for. So if you are interested, feel free to reach out and get in touch. I can give you a demo of the platform. We'll take it from there. Short and sweet, Paul.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Adam. That was fantastic. And yeah, maybe if you could put a link in the chat box there for the link that you were saying before, so people can check that out as well. That'd be great. Because as you say, yeah, as soon as Christmas and New Year's over, perfect time for everybody to start enrolling, right?
That's it. That's it.
Good job. Our next speaker is Latricia. Is Latricia Tippett. Latricia is the head of Australia and New Zealand at Hootsuite, a fantastic partner of ours at the Chamber. And Latricia, your 3 minutes start now.
Hi everyone, my name is Latricia, and I wanted to say and talk a little bit about social media first. So if you think about it, in less than a decade, social media has entirely shaped how we live, work and communicate. Today, it's the first place people turn to when they're looking to discover, learn and buy, and it's an essential platform to build your brand and uncover deep strategic insights, and most importantly, get closer to your customers. So Hootsuite is a SaaS company that has really led the social media management space. It's been around for about 14 years, since 2008, and more than 170,000 paying customers log into Hootsuite to tell their stories, grow their audience, and make gutsy business goals come true. So leading universities use our tool, Hootsuite Academy, and that's really to teach social media in their marketing classes. And many social media managers around the world use our thought leadership as a roadmap to the future. So when you think about it, Hootsuite helps you run as the non-stop pace of online culture. So wherever it goes next, Hootsuite is helping you stay ahead of all of that. So if you think of Hootsuite as your one-stop shop for all things social, so smart social marketing, measurement and engagement tools, we've got those. We also have AI-powered social commerce and customer care. We help all of our customers do that too. And we work with scrappy upstarts and household names, and they all trust our deep expertise, and we have rock solid partnerships, and we help them with bold visioning. So our goal is to ensure that we not only work with and work with your existing customers, but we also help you to show love to prospects as well as your existing customers, so they keep coming back to us. What differentiates Hootsuite from other social media management companies is the fact that our research reports and certifications are trusted by hundreds of thousands of marketers to help inform real business decisions with confidence. We've got the data and we've got the insights because of our longevity and our 14-year track record. We also partner and integrate with over 150 of core platforms and technologies. So a lot of the technologies and platforms that you use to run your business can integrate into Hootsuite. And we're also really affordable. We've created the unique infrastructure to keep your employees engaged and excited about your brand inside the office walls while becoming advocates outside of the workplace. And most importantly, we want to build connections that transform. So we want our people and places where people can thrive in a diverse, equitable and inclusive work environment. We're really committed as an organisation to develop products and services that support and empower those who need them the most. Our customers range from large enterprises to small businesses across a myriad of industries. When I think about our industries, we talk to government, public sector, non-profits, retail, FinServ, sports and technology, healthcare and higher education, and media and entertainment.
Time's up. Sorry, Latricia. We've already gone over, but
that's okay. I'll tell you one thing. If you want to reach out to me, fun fact, I'm the only Latricia Tippett on LinkedIn.
Ah, there we go. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Latricia. I'm sorry. I always have to cut somebody off, and unfortunately, but there's so much to talk about.
You were going to be me. I knew it was going to be me, Paul.
But I mean, us at the chamber, you know, our marketing manager, she utilizes the service of Hootsuite. You know, she can't rave about it enough. So no, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Latricia. So we're halfway through at the moment. So please, obviously, all of our attendees, start thinking of some great questions. We've had 5 fantastic speakers so far, all from different industries. I'm sure you've got many more there. But for now, we'll move on to our next speaker, speaker number 6, Tony Buchanan. Tony is the Commercial Director for Asia Pacific at Enplan. And Tony, your 3 minutes start now.
Thanks, Paul. It's Toby, not Tony, but I'll just take that as an
Sorry,
accident.
Toby. Did I say Tony? It's Toby.
Yeah.
I've even got it written down here, Toby. Sorry, Toby.
That's right. I get 4 minutes now. Okay, I'm just warning you. Everyone has to participate now, so I'm just warming you up for this. Okay, so obviously, ABCC, big connection to the UK. So has anyone been to London recently and ridden the Elizabeth line? Put your hand up. The new purple tube line. It's amazing. No one. Okay, well, let me tell you a bit of a story about that. I was in, it's an amazing project, by the way. I was in London in December 2018. I was living over there at the time, and there were hoardings outside Liverpool Street Station. Hopefully everyone can picture this. You know, you've been to London, right? So Crossrail, as it was called at the time, the Elizabeth line, opening December 2018. This was just before December 2018. Amazing project, a full fanfare. Only problem is it only opened in May of 2022, some 3.5 years later. Now, this problem afflicts major projects all around the world. It's not just the British that get this wrong. Sydney Light Rail was a year late and $1 billion over budget. Westgate Tunnel in Melbourne is multi-billions over budget, and some years to go as well, some years late as well. And it happens across all of the big types of projects that we build around the world: infrastructure, energy, and buildings. And so at Enplan, we have built a tool that allows companies who deliver big projects like this to understand when they're really going to finish and what might go wrong on those projects. So we've developed a novel artificial intelligence tool that uses the world's largest database of historical construction projects to then forecast on the next set of projects. So we work with clients in Australia like Rail Projects Victoria, Infrastructure New South Wales, BHP, and in the UK, High Speed 2, Network Rail, Shell, ExxonMobil, all of the organizations that deliver big projects. So that is essentially what we do. We do it with what we call owners, so the client side, so governments, energy companies, and developers in the building space, and the contractors that work for them. So we're not talking about Bob the Builder who'll do your backyard renovation. We're talking about the tier ones, so John Holland, Laing O'Rourke, Acciona, and the likes. So I guess my ask today would be, if you know anyone from those kind of organizations, then I'd love an introduction. I know there's some of the energy companies are members of the ABCC as well. What else is there that you want to know about? I think looking at some of the companies that are here, I think that's probably enough context, to be honest. And happy to answer more questions, but yeah, that's the very brief pitch.
No, fantastic. Thank you so much, Toby. And as you say, we just did obviously our international trade mission over to the UK, our infrastructure catalyst in September. And obviously, they were down there on the Elizabeth line as well, and they all raved about it. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go on that, but I've been told it's wonderful though.
Actually,
as you say, it's a little bit late.
We met the CEO of Sydney Metro at that event in London. So yeah, it was
right. Yes. Yeah. No, phenomenal. Thank you so much, Toby. Our next speaker is Yash Tiwari. Yash is the Business Development Manager for Asia Pacific at Smiths Detection. And Yash, your 3 minutes, sir, start now.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Yash. As Paul said, I represent Smiths Detection. Smiths Detection is a part of Smiths Group. It's a 200-year-old legacy British company. With Smiths Detection, we are the global leaders in threat detection and security screening. So we have 4 different verticals, which is your aviation, defense, urban security, and ports and borders. So those blue-colored machines that you see at the airport, when you walk in or you put your luggage, that's Smiths Detection. When you walk through the body scanner and you get beep, That's misdetection. And the last thing, when you think your security is all done, someone stops you if you're lucky and say, hey, have you used these devices before? Stops you for explosives or narcotics. That's misdetection device as well, where they're screening you for explosives or narcotics. So our aim is to make world a safer place. For that, we have a lot of different instruments. X-ray is one. A lot of instruments that play a role in CBRNE threat, which is your chemical, biological, nuclear, explosive threat detection. We work with a range of different companies, government organizations, social media companies, your e-commerce companies for the mail security. As you know, after 9/11, there was a big threat in the anthrax case, where a lot of key profile people were being sent envelopes with white powder or packages with biological threats. We are a company which is successfully doing threat detection for bio over more than a decade. We work with companies like Amazon, Apple. Recently, we made the event like Commonwealth Games as well as the G22 Summit very safe. So a lot of our instruments were used in those kind of settings as well. We would like to work with, if there is any security consultant, any company which is a system integrator or a business continuity kind of a company, we would like to partner with them and just explore the synergies. We work with hotels, airlines, government authorities, event management companies, and mining. Basically, any company, if you're worried about security, we are there for you. We would like to understand what kind of security do you see as a threat and how we've secured other companies across the world and how we can work with you to make you feel a lot safer. Yeah, I would like to thank you for your attention. Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Yash. That's wonderful. Such a massive job that you guys do. Obviously, the protection of the world, pretty much. And obviously, unfortunately, this day and age, it's something that we rely on even more. But no, that was really interesting. Thank you so much, Yash. Our next speaker is Samantha Woodward. Samantha is the managing director of Think Savvy. And Samantha, your 3 minutes start now.
Thank you, Paul. I'm a new member to the chapter, to the organisation. So thank you for having me on board this afternoon. Basically, Think Savvy provides specialist health, safety, environment and quality engineering advisory to complex project environments. So Toby, I think you and I have got a bit in common. We represent clients pre-mobilisation. So we've built a specialist technology to analyse the health, safety, environment and quality aspects of inbound tenders. We also have the capacity to analyse safety on complex projects, both dynamically and cost effectively once the projects are on foot. We deal with the sorts of projects between 20 million upwards. So a bit like Toby, we represent the client. We're sort of interested in assisting the client around how they analyse their tenders before they award them. So we deal with the sort of the larger end of the market. Due to the complex and confidential nature of the work we undertake, I'm not actually able to disclose the organisations that we've worked with because that'd be sort of dirty laundry stuff. But suffice to say that we work with ASX-listed companies, government departments and organisations like that. In terms of the kind of companies and individuals I'd like to be introduced to, I think we add most value to organisations that are involved in complex and diverse procurement activities that involve a tendering process. Organisations for whom development and construction is not their core business, but who need to involve themselves in those sorts of things. So that can be anything, I guess an analogy is like a supermarket, for example. So their primary core business is to sell fast-moving consumer goods to the market, but they are involved in complex development and diverse development activities across Australia, as an example. The other sorts of organisations that we're keen to connect with are those that have a dynamic subcontracting environment that they need to manage. There's variations in sort of the in-house expertise in these areas for the clients and industries that we interact with. And I think that's way less than 3 minutes. So we've been doing this for a while. We've built a proprietary reporting engine. We're COVID enabled, if you like. So we're a traditional engineering advisory company that took the opportunity during the pandemic to build a proprietary reporting engine so that we can scale our operations substantially. So we're an Australian-based organisation with a global perspective.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Samantha. And yeah, literally with 5 seconds left there to spare. But as you say, we're delighted to have ThinkSavvy as one of our newest members as well. And I know that you've already been interacting a lot with our wonderful team there in Melbourne with Matthew, Joyce, and Amelia. So
I have indeed.
It's fantastic to have you on board. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next speaker, so our second to last speaker. So again, start thinking of your questions here, guys. Our second to last speaker is Jade Decourt. Jade is the Partnerships and Business Development Manager for Polyglots Group. And Jade, your 3 minutes start now.
Thank you, Paul, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. As Paul said, I'm Jade. I am Polyglot Group's Business Development Manager. At Polyglot, we are a growth and expansion partner for companies that want to set up business in Australia or New Zealand or want to expand their existing one. So we help companies grow by nurturing their human capital, as we believe that is the main asset of every company. Therefore, the services we provide are all quite human-centric. It is a very wide range, going from business incorporation, accounting, compliance, and payroll, but also HR solutions such as employer of record, ongoing HR support, visa guidance, and even talent acquisition. So really finding the right team for a company to set up, and language support. Everything a company might need to get them going in Australia or New Zealand, or to expand their existing business. We're very pragmatic, and we believe every business has its own identity and needs. And therefore, we always work with a very tailored and customized approach and solution for every client, meaning we can assist on one level, or we can provide a full scope of services if needed, as much or as less a client requires or wants. We really identify as a one-stop shop for any HR solution a company might need when expanding their business. We are industry agnostic, so we don't really focus on any specific industry, nor do we focus on company size. In the past, we guided a lot of very well-known multinationals such as LinkedIn, Uber, or Decathlon with their entry into the Australian market. But we also have clients with only like 5 people, 5 employees on the payroll that come to Polyglot to outsource their HR and also stay with us. So it can really go both ways. We've been in business for over 25 years now, and as our expertise grew, we also set up counterparts in Europe, the US, and in South Africa. Nevertheless, our core business remains mostly in Australia and New Zealand. So any company that needs guidance with their expansion, we're more than happy to assist or help.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jade. That was wonderful. And yeah, as from a chamber's perspective, we can't speak highly enough about the work that Polyglot Group's done. They've been able to support a number of members of ours and contacts of ours over the years. So yeah, thank you so much, Jade. Our final speaker. So no pressure now, Alice. You got to finish this off with a big flair. It's the last one of 2022. No pressure. So Alistair French. Alistair is the head of partnerships and memberships at the wonderful Royal Exchange here in Sydney. And Alistair, your 3 minutes start now. You're on mute. There you go. That's finishing off with a hoot. I'll take you off.
Sorry. Thanks, Paul. There we go. You can hear me now. Thanks for the introduction, Paul. And yes, nice to meet you all. So just to sort of tell you about the Royal Exchange. So we're a business club, literally located next to the Chamber in the same street on Gresham Street, just in the CBD of Sydney. Founded in 1851. Basically to provide a meeting place for the business community. So that's sort of our founding purpose. And there's lots of history, a very rich history to the club, which I won't sort of get too bogged down in my 3 minutes. But in short, we're sort of a luncheon club, so a place to bring your clients, to entertain them, And then we also offer our members event spaces so they can do events with us. So we've got a boardroom, a bar, a dining room, and we do events of all types. You know, we'll do breakfast presentations, canapes, cocktail parties, a real mix of different things. And then we also have a couple of other boardrooms and conference rooms just up the road coming on board next year. And I suppose really our focus is people who are in business who, you know, need a place to basically bring people together, whether that's for lunch or, you know, an event or presentation, whatever the occasion might be. And again, I suppose we, you know, our members and the organizations we work with is very varied. I mean, it's a lot of business owners, finance, legal, accounting, a real sort of mix of different things. So it's all very varied. And basically for members of the club, there's lots of benefits. And so members of the chamber actually get a free membership, or they can do a free membership. So yeah, it's normally $220. But for that, you sort of get free venue hire. You can use the boardrooms. We do obviously our own sort of networking events. You know, we've got a great chef, great you know, great food. Obviously, I'm biased, but no, it's delicious. And yeah, and also we sort of have some other little vouchers and things like that. So definitely, if you're interested, you think you'll use it, whether you're in Sydney or whether you even come to Sydney on business and you need a base or somewhere to go and bring clients and things like that, I can send that link through to you, or Paul can share it, either or. But yes, well worth doing. It's free for chamber members, so definitely recommend giving it a go.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Alistair. And as Alistair said, if you are a member of our chamber, you're able to get a fantastic complimentary membership with the Royal Exchange. So obviously not just for companies here in Sydney, but for companies across the rest of Australia as well. And then, Alistair, were you also saying that you have another club over in the UK as well that they can use as well as part of that membership?
So we've got about 50 clubs around the world, and we're just sort of expanding that next year. But we've got 3 in London. We've got ones in Hong Kong, the States, all over. So that's sort of the nice thing of membership, is that you can actually use those clubs that you might not be able to get into, or you couldn't get into as normally. So you can sort of, we have that reciprocal relationship, and that's sort of something we're expanding out now, more now. Obviously, we can travel and everything else. But yes, so there's 3 in London, but yeah, they're all over the world.
No, fantastic. Thank you so much, Alistair. So that is our 10 wonderful chamber members to finish off 2022, and would love to now open it up to the floor for people to ask questions. I see there's already been some great chats happening in the meeting chat there, and it's wonderful to see that Samantha and Toby, I think that, you know, there could be a great opportunity for you both to have a conversation as well, which is excellent. But while we're waiting for the first question, and please, if you do have a question, put it into the meeting chat or raise your hand, and we'll, in fact, put it into the meeting chat and I'll send it over to you. But maybe if I'll start off. So Yako over at Patron, obviously it's such an exciting product that you guys have, and something that I think has been required for such a long period of time for companies or individuals that are going overseas. The whole banking regime and opening up accounts sort of situation has been such an outdated process. You know, why was it like that, and what have you done to really rectify that? You know, how quick is the process now?
Yeah, Paul, I mean, I've been over to the UK about 2 or 3 times in my life on 2 big stints to kind of build an office over there. And the last time I was there, 2016, I pitched up with a pack of papers. I kid you not, there was this amount. And I had an official letter from the UK government saying, please, you know, provide right of passage to this company, this individual. I was the CEO of the company. We were investing in the UK. And I remember, you know, for the 30th visit at one of the bank branches, that the bank said to me, "Oh, you were so close. If only you had a wet signature, we could have gotten you over the line today." And it's one of those times when they broke me, and I threw a true tantrum. And the guy, in a moment, just switched over and said, "Oh, I can see you're upset. I'm going to help you." I was like, "No, don't help me. Fix the process." But to cut a long story short, I think it's pretty innocent, Paul. Like, you know, people are trying to do the right thing. So you kind of paper over a broken process. And eventually, if you don't fix it from first principles, the end result you get is a very broken way. And so what we try to fix is working directly with the banks and actually provide an easier state of access. So we can open up a virtual account and at like a Barclays held account in a moment's notice. It's a click of a button. after you've been verified with us as a company, we can give you bank details in the UK, in the United States, in Europe, and in Australia. And that counts for any organization. It doesn't matter where the organization comes from, as long as we can strongly verify them and just make sure, you know, we understand who we're dealing with. You're capable of opening up these accounts. And it's because we've kind of reinvented that process from first principles and worked with the banks to kind of fix this. The Commonwealth Bank has also invested into us recently. They want to work with us as well to kind of see if we can do similar things on like a different scale. So there's pretty exciting things happening here. I think the banks do want to fix this process. So it's something that is helping people that want to move across the borders, and just to enable that flow of funds to move, you know, make it easier to do business effectively.
No, fantastic. And I think for somebody like yourself, Jade, obviously with the type of companies that you're working with that are coming in, you know, maybe there's even opportunity, I guess, for yourselves and Jaco. I don't know if you guys have met each other as yet, apart from on this call, to be able to partner with each other. Because Jade, are you finding now that, you know, particularly now with the free trade agreements, you know, moments away, hopefully just a couple of months away from finally being actioned, are you now seeing quite a big buildup of UK companies coming in, or vice versa, Australian companies going over to the UK?
We just noticed after the borders reopened, a lot of companies from anywhere in the world coming in. Although we do notice that the mindset is a little bit more conservative than what it was before COVID. So as companies before COVID made the decision a lot sooner or faster to come here, most of the time now they're sending a small team to scout the market, and then when they're short, then they're really going to set up business. With the free trade agreement, we hope that more and more companies will come in. We also do notice that the Australian government is really trying hard to make Australian business and the market quite attractive. So we're really hopeful for next year how everything is going to move.
Yeah. No, fantastic. And I think, yeah, as you say, there's so much opportunity here. Obviously, there's difficulties across the globe right now with economy or conflict. But I think, you know, here in Australia, we're very, very lucky. And I think that's why it's such an attractive proposition for companies to come into, which is great. Again, please, if anybody has any questions, please put them into the chat. I don't want to keep the conversation just between myself and our wonderful speakers. But maybe heading over to yourself, Adam, obviously Sport Heroes, you know, right now, everybody's wondering, how do we, it's not about recruiting new staff, it's about retention of staff. And the big thing about that is, how do you make your staff more engaged, particularly now because you have work from home and all these sort of things taking place. This must be, you know, the reason why you guys are succeeding, you know, so much right now, because obviously companies need to find a way, how can we get our employees more engaged to what we're doing? Is that what you're finding right now?
Yeah, I think you're bang on. And I think it's funny you mentioned the retention of staff now. I was talking to a client that was saying that now an interview, it's a reverse interview. The job market's so hard at the moment that when you go into an interview, you basically interview the person interviewing you. Right. And companies have to be, I guess, proactive in this space and have more than just an EAP on hand now. An EAP is the minimum you should have. And I think like hybrid working is here to stay. It's not going away. Frankly, I don't know why we didn't think of it 3 or 4 years ago, because I absolutely love it. There's nothing better than a Monday at home. And I think the risk of disengagement is a lot higher now, particularly for companies that might have 2 or 3 employees on other parts of the country or all around the globe. Like I'm a key, I guess, person, employee in that space, that there's only 7 of us in Australia. And if I want to feel part of the global team, I need a platform to go on and have that friendly competition, the banter, to, I guess, to feel part of the values that Sport Heroes has. With Leverage United Heroes pretty heavily internal as well. And I think it's not very tasteful to say this, but COVID has helped expand United Heroes, definitely. I mean, that's why we've gone from 4 clients to nearly 400 in the space of 2 years. So definitely a rapid growth. But yeah, it's an interesting work environment at the moment.
No, absolutely. And I know Alan Sherry, thank you very much for your question. Alan, do you want to ask it directly to Adam?
Yeah, I just missed it when you were talking earlier, Adam, about your ideal kind of hookups. Who's the best people for you or for us to be thinking about for you in terms of an intro?
Yeah, I think we work with a very large range of companies. Like we work with companies that might have probably, I'd say the minimum would be maybe 10. because we're all about team building and team culture, and any, I guess, less than that, it makes it difficult. But anywhere from 10 to we've got Toyota with 120,000 employees and Sitel Fit with 180 something now, I think it is 180 something thousand. And just releasing PwC's Sport Challenge in Europe, I'd expect that to take over Toyota as well. But saying that, we also work with, say, BT Financial here, who have the most engaged community you could ever possibly want, with 95% penetration and 90% of them opening the app every second day. So it does range.
No, fantastic. Thank you very much. And thanks for the question there, Alan. And Latricia, over to yourself. Obviously, Hootsuite, you know, right now, everybody's talking about the most important thing that a company has is their data. It's all of that information and how are they utilizing it? You know, what are you finding is the biggest sort of, I guess, challenges or mistakes that companies are making with the management of their data and how they're obviously utilizing their own marketing platforms as well?
That's a great question, because, you know, I've heard it referred to as data is the new oil.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, you know, it really gives us, I mean, we could all have data, but it's our ability to interpret that information and also provide benchmarking and analysis that really helps inform our strategy going forward. So when I think about how we use data, or how we provide a solution that enables our customers to use data, it can give you things like customer sentiment. You know, what are your customers talking about, and what are they talking about with regard to you versus your competitors? It also enables you to think about competitive benchmarking. So where do you rank in terms of some of your other competitors in the space? And when you're thinking about what's important to your customers and how do you align to that in terms of your strategy, there's some of the things that are really important. I think, interestingly, to one of the guys earlier that was talking about advocacy, employee advocacy and social advocacy is something that is really important now as a way to really drive retention and attract talent, that we talked a little bit about earlier. And at Hootsuite now, we have social advocacy tools that helps engage your employee population, but also enables them to share experiences about your own brand. And as you know, the best referrals are from people within the organization as opposed to you. So social advocacy allows you to engage with your current workforce, to attract and retain talent, but not only that, to provide a voice for your customers from somebody that's really experiencing it on day to day. So when I think about data, I think about analytics around what our customers are saying, how you benchmark against your competitors, what they're saying about you, but also what's important to them. And then what are your own team, and how are we leveraging your own people within your own organization, and how can they speak about your organization to potentially feel engaged, but also to attract new people and share their perception of what your organization is from a USP perspective. Yeah.
No, fantastic. No, thank you so much. And yeah, as we say, yeah, it is the most important thing, data, right now, isn't it? So yeah, if you're not using it, then you're losing it, definitely. And maybe I'll go over to Yash as well. You know, obviously such an interesting product that you guys do, obviously service that you guys do in that security area. And yeah, as we were saying before, there's so many different security breaches taking place now, whether it's, you know, through cyber, whether it's through physical, all these different things. I know that in the past we've spoken about the future of cities, you know, future cities and all those sort of things. What do you see that's happening in Australia at the moment for that future of cities platform?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we've been working with a lot of universities regarding the smart city designs, and that actually fits in well with the sensors, like different sensors regarding air quality to sense even the virus and pathogens. So we have some instrument that can detect SARS-CoV-2, for example, in the air. The future would be to detect such threats early on so that you can identify them, disinfect them, and stop them from multiplying, basically. If COVID was detected early, we would not be in an epidemic or pandemic situation, right? So that would be the future, like looking at the air quality, indoor as well as outdoor, and also looking at these threats, which could be pathogens, which could be biological threats, and basically just finishing them as soon as they kind of arise, detecting them early. So that's one of the vision for the smart cities, future cities, yeah, in the biosensor space.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And it's something that you hope we'd never require, especially here in Australia, which is, you know, such a safe country. But unfortunately, it's always going to be that threat. And maybe if nobody else has any more questions, I might just finish it off with one to Toby and Samantha, actually. So, you know, here at the moment in Australia, we have so many of these huge projects that are currently taking place. And as you said before, Toby, you know, there are projects that, you know, it's got an end date, but unfortunately that end date is nowhere near where it's actually going to fall. And it's, you know, it's 2 years down the track. You know, in Brisbane's going to be hosting the Brisbane Olympics, you know, in the near future. Are you seeing the projects there? Are they already starting now? What do you see as you know, what is Brisbane going to be doing to be able to keep to those sort of timelines? And Samantha, yourself as well, are you seeing that Brisbane is a major focus right now?
Yeah, so it's a huge challenge. I mean, like every Olympic Games is famously, well, they finish on time, but they're famously
over budget.
Yeah, because you can't finish late, right? Because otherwise there's no opening ceremony. So it's going to be a huge challenge, like it is for every Olympics. I think Brisbane's interesting in that, like, they bid a lot of their, or part of their bid was using existing infrastructure, but they still have to build a lot of supporting infrastructure. So Gold Coast Light Rail, there's a couple of other light rails going in, there's Stadia, there's all the other accommodation, and then pair that back with kind of put that in parallel with with Australia's greatest ever infrastructure pipeline. I went to a Transport for New South Wales briefing a couple of months ago, and it was something like $100 billion just in New South Wales infrastructure being delivered over the next 4 years. So, you know, put all of that together and you know, increasingly, no productivity growth basically in construction industry over the last however long they've been counting productivity in construction. So, you know, we need to be looking for ways to be more effective, to use data, as you said, and Latricia, I completely agree. You know, data is useful unless you have some way to extract insights from it, right? And it's often something that people say to me, because we use our clients' data to present them back insights, and they say, well, you know, it's our data, it's unique and it's proprietary and it's valuable. It's like, so you should pay us. I'm like, well, at the moment you're paying to store it and not do anything with it. So if you want it in a format that you can actually use, then yeah. So anyway, that's a rounded question, but yeah, interesting one, Paul. The Olympics will be.
No, absolutely. And Samantha, with yourself, obviously, you know, you'd be seeing a lot of different tenders taking place with that. Everybody wants a piece of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the challenges, further to what Toby's mentioned, is that because we've got this unilateral skill shortage, and we've got this huge pipeline, you know, renewable energy as well as is coming online because of our government change. So we've got hundreds of billions of dollars being set aside for that, along with our defence spending. So what I'm hearing is that because of the dynamic situation that we're still experiencing with our supply chain challenges, that anything that we can do to assist in terms of, you know, analysing data, utilising data, thoughtfully in this industry, I think is going to assist in alleviating some of these challenges. But I'm also hearing that, like, I don't know whether you're experiencing these, you know, dynamic airline pricing. You know, it can be $250 to go to Sydney, or it can be $1,000 sort of thing. Well, in the construction space, because of this extraordinary challenge we're finding in the procurement space, is that they're starting to talk about dynamic project valuations. So depending, and this is being broken down into components, parts of projects, where the costing of these things is an absolute nightmare, and the skill shortage as well is just it's just a huge crunch at the moment. So we're certainly going to be busy for some years to come, I think.
No, absolutely. And as you say, the worker shortages is a massive part of that. And, you know, I know that with the free trade agreement, we are looking towards that for bringing people out here. But yeah, we've got the same problem, I think, in the UK right now as well. But no, fantastic. Well, we do have one last question that I might just ask, because it's from Adam Joseph, who says, who's going to win the World Cup? Can England do it? Well, Adam, you work for Qatar Airways, so I'm hoping that you probably have the inside scoop on that. England's going to win it. Yeah, we haven't played anybody yet, but without question, yeah, we'll beat Mbappe and the rest of the French team maybe. But well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to our tremendous speakers, our 10 speakers. As I say, I'm going to be sending out all of their contact details to you as well. So you can obviously engage with them privately. I know sometimes people don't like to ask questions directly on this and they want to go direct. So I'll be sending that out as well. I think our speakers did a great job. Trust me, when you're trying to fit into 3 minutes what you do and who you're targeting, it's a tough one. So congratulations, well done to all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all of our attendees. So many of you have joined us throughout the year on these, and they've always been, fantastically successful. But this is obviously the last one of the year. We will be doing our next one in February. We've got plenty of events taking place in the new year as well, kicking off with our summer drinks. Obviously, we have Crimson Global Academy doing a fantastic webinar with those guys as well in January. So please go on our website, have a look at the dates that we're doing for those, and we'd love to see you there. But I guess the final thing for me to say is thank you all so much for this year. Wishing yourself, your family, your friends are very safe. Merry Christmas, and hopefully, COVID keeps at its bay and we can all be healthy and have a wonderful time and a deserved rest. So thank you so much again. Look forward to seeing you all in the very near future. So Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Paul.